lots of sharp-looking faces looking at us here, so. Merry Christmas, everyone. Early Merry Christmas. Approval of the agenda, please. Okay, Councillor Erickson moving, seconder, please. Second. Councillor Medlock. All those in favor? Contrary, motion carries. Adoption of the minutes of the regular council meeting held November 28th. There's one minor correction there, and I believe John is aware of it there, under Councillor Medlock's report.
Yes.
Okay. Make sure that's noted. Other than that, I'll move adoption. Okay, Councillor Medlock moving adoption.
Second.
Councillor Dial second. All those in favor? Contrary, motion carries. Thank you. We're fortunate to have with us tonight a good contingent from our fire department, led by Tom DeSorsi, our fire chief. And there's a number of things to celebrate within the fire department. A number of members had some extraordinarily long service awards, and then also we have a lot of new talent on the fire department this year, so that's something to celebrate. And Fire Chief DeSorsi, the floor is yours.
Your Worship, thank you very much, and for inviting us to introduce to you our new recruits and some of our long service recipients that are here tonight. I thought maybe we'd get a photo op if we brought them up here as well, if that's possible, and I'll introduce them. Who's with me tonight? In fact, just first, and maybe you can come up as I bring you up. Thomas Cameron is our district chief at Hull 1 and also our training officer, so he's responsible for the recruits and where they are in their training to date. We have from Hull 2, originally from Hull 2, Mike Bolcott, who just was honored with his, from the provincial government, his first bar for 35 years of long service, and all started in Silver Creek, of course, and then with, of course, the District of Hope. 36 years, actually, is how long he's been with the fire department.
He's not as young as he looks, is he?
You may know Ellen DeLong. Ellen, of course, was the fire chief with the Cockaway Lake Fire Department when we amalgamated, and just retired as a district chief with Hull 3. And we were pleased to be able to present him on behalf of the Governor General with his bar for they give 20, 30, and 40 and 50 years of long service. Ellen has achieved 40 years in the fire service, all in our area. We have as well our four recruits, all of them here tonight, and you guys can all come up at once. Lindsay Kufta on the right. Here's Jeremy Butler, Monica Cummins, and Brandon Stewart are all brand new with the fire department this year. Started in May at boot camp, and maybe you can join us for a photograph.
Or I could do that. I'm aiming wearing my cheesy Christmas tie.
Our official photographer is here with us this evening, Mrs. DeLong. So,
well, the official photographer. We may have to huddle.
Do we have to sneak in a bit?
No one can photo. Come Hold a moment. Yes, sir, one.
Mike, you need to face this one. Okay.
Everybody's always so quiet when there's a picture being taken. Don't say anything.
Okay.
I'll put it up.
Get the XY.
1.4.
Okay, we got a thumbs up from everybody. We're good. So, thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate you. I wanted to mention one thing, and I was quite moved at the contingent of fire personnel at Wally Panku's service. I think everyone that could take time off work was there, so that was really nice to see. And before Wally passed, I had an opportunity to meet with him a couple of times, and we had a nice visit to Royal Columbian Hospital when he first found out he was sick, and we talked about fire department, and he was obviously that was a huge part of his life, a huge passion of his life, and he he felt in some ways when he retired, he was almost letting the department down, but what he did is he said, well, we got some awesome new recruits, like he was really excited about the new people coming on board, and that really made him happy that, you know, as people retire or they pass, and there's new talent to backfill and keep the community going in the fire department sense, so very much appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you're all welcome to stay, but we don't.
No,
I thought you would, Michael.
I haven't been suffering from insomnia lately.
No, that was not it.
Hey,
Good night, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
No, I'm going to get back. Oh, you're going to. Thank you.
So, staff reports, Mr. Forlowski.
Yes, good evening, your worship, councillors. Dale, unfortunately can't be here, road conditions, etc. However, this is fairly straightforward. As you'll recall, the grant and aid policy states there will be a maximum of $10,000 for grants and aid for 2017. The organizations have applied as per the policy, and the deadlines are included here. There are 3. They are the Mount Hope Senior Citizens Housing Society requesting $2,100, Fraser Canyon Hospice Society requesting $2,000, and the Hope Mountain Center for Outdoor Learning requesting $1,000. So I think this is one of the rare occasions where the requests are actually below the authorized ceilings for grants and aid. So what staff is recommending that you endorse and resolve that in fact these grants and aid will be included in the 2017 budget.
Okay, motion to that effect? Okay, Councillor Stewart moving.
I have a question.
Councillor Medlock, you had your hand up for a second, or?
there's a second and I have a question.
Okay, Councillor Dybel and Councillor Medlock, questions?
Just my comment is the Arts Council, Care Transit, and Hope Crime Prevention still considered grants and aid? Or are there line items now in our budget? So should these even show up in the grant and aid document? Because they
Dale
are line
included them
item.
in the report just for your situational awareness. They remain line items strictly. They no longer are grants and aid as per the policy. The council's authorized their ongoing funding.
Okay.
Councillor Medlock?
Thank you. My question is, what happens with the remaining $4,900 that was budgeted for?
It will stay unallocated, and perhaps there may be requests for emergency funding or something like that. And that would have to be considered on a one-time basis. Again, they've met the policy, or have not met the policy deadlines for application.
So the line item in the 2017 budget will still remain at $10,000, only $5,100 will be expended at the time? Okay.
That's my understanding, absolutely.
Thank you.
Motion's on the table, all those in favor? Contrary, motion carries, thank you. Item B, report from Mr. Forlowski pertaining to the Advantage Hope Award to new nominees for 2016.
I'm going to declare conflict. One of the people is an employee of School District 78, so.
Okay. Okay.
Your worship, councillors, this is a periodic report, as from time to time board members need to be re-elected or replaced on the Advantage Hope Board. As there are in any organization, nobody lasts forever. You'll see there are 3 current vacancies, and those vacancies saw the departure of 3 valued members, Mr. Peter Sherrill, Mr. Glendon Kyle, and Mr. Hondo Stroyan. In your package, you have the applications by the 3 that are recommended, as is the process by the existing board that is so elected and appointed. And they are Mr. Brian Gagnier, Ms. Erin Wilkins, and Ms. Gina Bennett. So we provided their details there, and in fact I've got in the audience, if there are any detailed questions about the process for the recommendation, the president and the executive director for Advantage Hope, Mr. Kent McKinnon and Ms. Tammy, my mind just slipped. Yes, yep, I've been away too long. And this is a normal process in that They're appointed till the next AGM, and the next AGM, the members of the society appoint the board, and the board elects the executive. So they're following their own rules. So what we're seeking is that council resolve to endorse Brian Gagne, Aaron Wilkins, and Gina Bennett to the Advantage Hope Board.
Sound like three good people, do we have a motion to that effect? Okay, Councillor Dival moving. No seconder? Councillor Erickson, thank you. Questions or comments?
I think it's good to see so many people that are interested in participating as board directors for Advantage Hope. I had an opportunity to meet several of them a couple weeks ago, a little get-together prior to the last Advantage Hope meeting. There was a get-together to sort of have everybody else on the board that was providing the recommendation, instead of just looking at the application form, actually have some conversation. So it was good, and they're all good candidates. And like I say, I think it's exciting to hear that there's so many people that are interested in becoming directors. So I think it was a good process, and looking forward.
Sounds good. Motion's on the table. All those in favor? Contrary? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, here. Thank you, Councillor Stool.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, under Mayor and Councillors' report, keep that relatively short. Now, I think the committee appointments have been working fairly well the last year, so unless anyone on council has any objections, I would like to keep the committee appointments the same. We can certainly make some alterations if necessary, but the heading of it, if it isn't broken, don't fix it. It seems to be working pretty good. Councillor Erickson?
Yeah, I just have a couple of comments over that. I don't know who makes it up, but I'm just wondering the balance of these. Some councillors have 8 or 9, 8 appointments. One has 1 appointment, some have 2 appointments. Is that done because the councillors are willing to do it? Put the
Well, it was done specifically way back when we first got on council, because certain members are more flexible from a work point of view.
Okay.
And alternate, for instance, alternate representatives, generally speaking, are not called upon anyways. So they're available in an emergency if necessary, but for instance, with the regional district, Councillor Dival has willingly volunteered, but so far I haven't had to impose on her, so.
Oh, I understand.
You know, so.
But I just wondered why, I just thought maybe some of the other councillors that only have 1 may want to help the one that has 8 different positions.
Well, I think everyone has quite a number here anyways. And no one is excluded from attending anyways. You know, so if you wanted to.
I just looked over it and I was just thinking, there's like someone's loaded pretty heavy,
Yeah,
and others weren't quite as heavy.
yeah.
Another one, how come the Chamber of Commerce isn't on here?
We could certainly put that on there if you like.
I'm just wondering that. 'Cause I didn't see it here.
Yeah, it hasn't been on since this whole term.
Yeah, I know it's not.
Now, I guess the question would be then, of course, now yourself as a chamber member on the board, we would have to then do double duty if there's an official council liaison. So we'd have to have 2 council members there, because if you're on the board, you really can't be.
I
So
understand that.
if someone else from council is willing to be a go-between, we could certainly make that happen.
I just thought it should, I think someone should be on there from council to bring back reports.
Yeah.
And then another question too. I'm just wondering if, on this one for a short period of time, if maybe we should have someone from council on the Station House Committee, so that I can report back to council on a regular basis. I just wonder if that would, because that's quite an important project that we're doing this year, it puts a lot of money.
I think that's all of council.
All of council?
Yeah, that's all of council, there's no,
I'm
any decisions will get made at the.
just thinking for direction.
The Station House Committee, I believe that you're referring to, which consists of members of Advantage Hope and various stakeholders, report to the district. So basically, their input now is strictly input into the project moving forward. The District of Hope is managing the project entirely. So, I don't know the value added per se of that suggestion, because you as council sit and you can partake in the public input sessions, any stakeholder working groups, committees of the whole, and ultimately all decisions fall to you regarding the development of the station house.
But I'm just, through you again, I'm just wondering if it would be beneficial if someone from council specifically was at all the meetings so that they're completely informed of what's going on, like every meeting that's going on with the station. And it's a huge cost to the town that we're gonna be incurring. And then, they can input here with us.
Well,
The
we have
council
the,
has to, because
we
you
have
have,
we have the stakeholder meeting.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have in January, I guess, Mr. Forlowski, there's going to be a follow-up as to some of the thoughts and ideas that were brought forward at the original public meeting and the stakeholder meeting.
Mhm.
And there'll be a compilation.
Yep.
And then some rough prices attached to some of the ideas.
Rough price?
Yeah, before council can move forward to narrow down the design, staff will be providing a cost of those designs. So council knows when they're making that decision how much it's gonna cost.
Okay.
and your worship, council already has two liaisons that oversee and report back to council all Advantage Hope business and activities. And those two are Councilor Medlock and Councilor Dowding.
But this isn't Advantage Hope, this isn't Advantage Hope I'm talking about.
No.
I'm talking about.
No, so you
talking about the
want a
station
special,
specifically the station.
well, council has not established a special committee for the station house.
That's why I'm asking if that would be something we should consider.
I personally think it just adds to the morass of issues there. I think if we had, once we have a direction on prices, what the project would cost given different scenarios, and we make a decision as to the direction, we have architectural plans that are in place, then we just tender and make it happen. I don't think it's gonna require a lot of,
I think there's been larger projects in the district that we trust our staff with, so I think it's a similar situation, not necessary.
Okay.
okay? Yes, Councilor Stewart?
If council would like a liaison for the Chamber of Commerce, I have time, and I'd be willing to step up, but I mean, if it's something you want to know.
Well, if you're a keeper,
I wouldn't mind being involved in it then.
yeah,
I have time.
yeah, you do lots. Give yourself credit,
Exactly.
you're super busy, so. Okay, an alternate, Councilor Medlock, so the alteration to the schedule here for the committee appointments would be addition of the Chamber of Commerce, Councilor Stewart as a primary, and then Councilor Medlock as an alternate if Councilor Stewart's unavailable, so.
The liaisons.
Would it be under the
Liaisons.
liaison section?
Yeah.
Just a liaison,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, with those two friendly changes, do we have a motion to approve that? Okay, thank you. Councilor Erickson moving, Councilor Stewart seconding. All those in favor? Contrary? Motion carries, thank you. I guess as you start under Mayor's report, wishing everyone a Merry Christmas. I'm politically incorrect, so I stick to Merry Christmas. None of this Happy Holidays thing. In some circles it's not, but anyways. I'd like to thank the Public Works crew and, of course, led by John and Kevin for their good work in the snow removal. I know everyone wants their street done first, but I think they worked very hard to make it happen as quickly as possible, and had a few little challenges along the way, but it worked out well overall. And attended a regional district year-end function. It's quite interesting. It's good. What I would like to do, maybe for the second meeting in January, is for us to meet 1 week before the second meeting in January, and then put together a little plan of attack for the next year. I know quite often inaugural remarks are more sort of the mayor's Henning and all of council, but I would like to, maybe we can have an hour session and do a little chatting as to what we want to do over the next year that fits within our strategic plan, and then we can go with that. It'd be nice to have a little look forward for the year. And we're halfway into our 4-year term. We're 2 years in, pretty well as of today. And I'd just like to thank council and staff for the good work. This is not my first kick at it. This is the third time as mayor and fourth time on council, and I certainly appreciate the integrity and the hard work that everyone invests. We have a good team that works well together, and I certainly appreciate staff. We have a very hard-working team there, so your efforts do not go unnoticed, and keep up the good work. We need you. So that's my short mayor's report. Councillor Dybel, we can start with you.
Just attended one meeting this past 2 weeks, which was the stakeholder consultation meeting with the architect, where he presented 5 drawings, and input was had by the stakeholders, and I think some good results were generated as a result of that. So I look forward to those coming back to council in the new year and having further discussion and debate around what that project is going to look like. I mean, I think that we want it to serve such a diverse population group, but it's such limited space. It really is a limited building, so keeping that in mind. So with that, just Merry Christmas to the community. Wishing you, and I'm not politically correct either, because it is Merry Christmas. Want to thank staff for their hard work this year. Appreciate the hard work of the crew the past 2 days. I mean, certainly the snow is fun to play in, but I can tell you that we're all tired of shoveling the snow in our neighborhood. Appreciate those people with snow blowers, and every year my husband says, I'm getting older and I really need a snow blower. But really, it's appreciated all the hard work that staff do, and especially this time of year when you're fighting the conditions that really aren't on our side. So thank you for that hard work. Thank you to council for your dedication. Every 2 times a month we're together. We're like a little family here, good, bad, and ugly. So thank you for your hard work. And
Who's the bad news?
well, you want to get your short skirt on, see what happens. And to the community for putting up with us, so thank you for that. And I just wish everybody a safe holiday season. And not sure if I'll make the function on Wednesday at the Owl Street. Time is getting close to the holiday season here, and I'm wrapping things up at work. So if I don't, please send wishes on to everybody else. So thank you.
Councillor Stewart.
Okay, so I attended the Station House walkthrough and the Station House consultation on the 29th of November. Also attended the opening of the Coquihalla School addition, and with Victor. I was invited to the Golden Agers Christmas dinner at the Eagles. We had a great sing-along, and it was a lot of fun. What a great job the Eagles do with a Christmas dinner. So that was a huge highlight for me. I wasn't able to attend the stakeholder consultation, but I understand it went really well. I was in Vancouver at a Learning Forward conference with over 3,000 people from around the world, which was pretty darn cool. Yeah, some of them had never seen snow before, and it snowed all day on the Monday, so they're just, it was so cute. Let's see, what else did I do? Oh, the Ladies Auxiliary of the Royal Canadian Legion branch number 228 is hosting a recruitment event in the new year. They're going to be looking for some ladies that have some spunk and can put together a great fundraiser meal for groups, or help to put bursaries together to donate to our community. And they're looking for lots of people to come out and help them with all the good that they do in our town. So if anyone's interested, keep that in mind to keep you busy in 2017. As soon as the dates and times are available, I'm happy to report back. I'm even considering doing that, so that'd be cool. And just a big shout out to the Hope and District Chamber of Commerce, and their salmon barbecue competition event. The Small Business BC Awards have shortlisted them as one of the top 10 for the, let me get it right, the best concept category. I attended this event in the summertime, and it was the most successful event that brought people from Washington State to Alberta and beyond. And it was just a wonderful thing. So it's nice to see them hit the top 10 list. And kudos to the Hope and District Chamber of Commerce and all the volunteers. And that's all. Oh, and I may make it on Wednesday. If not, everyone have a happy holiday season, and thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you. Councillor Menlo.
I know I won't be around on Wednesday, I'll be out of town all day, so unfortunately I won't be able to go as well. I don't think I've been able to attend that one for a few years, maybe one day it'll work that I can go. In the last couple of weeks, I went to the Station House open house and my public consultation. That was interesting. I got some of the slides still available. I'm sure people want some, take a look at those that we made available, I assume.
They're on the website.
They're on the website, great. And then I also went to the Chamber of Commerce Annual General Meeting on December 7th. It was interesting. I don't think it was run completely the way it should have been, but I guess it's done. We'll see how that goes. But there's a full board. They've got 13 directors, which is also encouraging to know that there's that many people that are interested in volunteering. That's really positive. And there's more. There was more that were willing to come forward. So, and that is their full complement. So that is very encouraging. And then we have an Advantage Hope meeting tomorrow. So I'll be attending that as the council liaison.
Sound good?
That's all I have to report.
Thank you. Councillor Menlo. Councillor Erickson.
Through you, ratepayers had their meeting last Thursday, and the ratepayers are going to be sponsoring the Christmas dinner for the Park Street Manor. So I thought that's pretty nice for a small group like the ratepayers to put on the Christmas dinner for Park Street Manor. Kudos to the ratepayers. Like Scott said, the Chamber of Commerce had their annual general meeting, and it was, they chose some fairly good people, I think really good people for their board now. And at the general meeting, they, one of the things that really came up is during this season, between November and March, it's really, really quiet in town. So they want to take on the initiative like used to be the Lights of Hope. They want to spend up to $15,000 on lights and start lighting up the town last week in November to the first week in January, and really, really do a nice job with this. I was in Alberta 2 weeks ago, and I went through some small little towns, and those little towns have decorated spectacular. And so at the, I've been at 3 meetings of the chamber since the last meeting. At the meeting before the general meeting, I suggested that, you know, it would be nice to decorate up Wallace Street and decorate up Water Avenue and Hope Princeton, maybe 6, really do something really, really nice, and see if we can get the whole community involved and having some competition with the stores. So come end of November, so we can bring tourists back to town in this area. Chamber of Commerce has committed $15,000 to these lights, and we're going to try and get with you, Kevin, to see if we can find some power, because they're going to be all LED lights. They're trying to really start this and get it going so that each year we can build on the lights and have some really beautiful decorations. So people will want to come. And then they discussed also that in the town that there should be, when they have these lights up, then they can have some evenings where each restaurant puts on a special, no, I'm not good at food, so maybe McDonald's has a certain burger, and someone has some other type of food, another restaurant has another type of food, and so you just kind of walk through and advertise this down the valley so they can have a whole evening where tourists would come and have a walk-in, $20 or $15.
Like a progressive dinner?
Pardon me?
Like a
Oh,
progressive dinner?
Yeah, like that, like a progressive dinner. They wanted to do that several times and have different restaurants sponsoring. It would be something really nice where we could attract tourists during that better time. They talked about getting Advantage Hope involved, the whole community involved, trying to build this, because tourism right now is dead. You know, it's really quiet, other than Manual Park scheme. And so that's one of the initiatives that came out of the meeting after the general meeting. And on Friday, the mayor and I got up at 5:30 and we drove into Vancouver. And, sorry about my truck. We had a dead nose die in my vehicle. Oh, the smell was bad to start with. So anyway.
It's like the cleanest vehicle in Hope too, that's.
Anyway, we went down to the Legal Society and we took on a course on ethics and conflict of interest. It was actually, it's so complicated how they take an example and then these guys are all debating it. You know, I think, who's ever gonna win? But it was really interesting how complicated life can really be. And then on the way back, we stopped at the MLA's office, Laurie Thronis, for his Christmas party, I guess. And we managed to get on Facebook. Did you see us on Facebook?
I haven't seen it
He put us on, I just got, someone sent it to me.
yet.
He said, hey, look at you on Facebook. So he took a picture of us and, well, we met with him for 3/4 of an hour and discussed some really good issues. Great man, we're gonna really miss him as an MLA, I think. So anyway, that's my report. I think that's it. Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, thank you for driving. The company was very nice.
It was a good, I really learned a lot. I learned It's not with you. I mean, it was, we had a good time.
You did get the mice one, didn't
Oh, I get that.
you? That was low hanging fruit.
Had to keep the window down to start with. Once the heater started going, then it circulated through our carbon filter.
The ironic part about it is it's the cleanest vehicle in Hope. It's like, talking about it. Anyways. Yeah.
I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and thank you for cooperating and working together, each of you and the public and the staff. It's been great. It's been a great year.
Thank you. Okay, under, let's see here, under 8A, BC Transit, Mr. Forlowski.
Your worship, this BC Transit report is another positive step forward if we're to achieve, as per your direction, regional transit coming through to Hope from the west. So if you've read the report, what's required here is for the region to undertake enabling legislation, i.e. A bylaw at the regional level, because this is regional transit, which will authorize the initiative under the Local Government Act and some other acts. I'm sure you've read it, it's included in the package. What's interesting here to note, and I'm anticipating maybe there's a question, maybe not. As per their bylaw, it says the net share of the annual cost to be recovered under this bylaw shall be recovered 100% by the District of Hope. Now, just to define that, what they mean by the net cost is the cost less whatever partners pay up and the cost less whatever the province contributes via BC Transit. So right now, the cost estimates you have as part of the package, and it's no secret was presented before, includes just the BC Transit portion and the district. But again, as we move forward, and revenue from fares, as we move forward, it's anticipated, quite frankly, we will get generated revenue from more people just riding the system between here and Agassiz, but we'll also get partners that will want to come on board now, once they've seen it, now that we've built it and it's going. And these may include First Nations groups, these may include, other regions, for example, areas A or B. It all depends.
Right.
So an initiative that certainly, since I've been here, early 12, staff have been working hard at trying to get this going. So indeed, if the council wants to see this finalized and ideally transit operating September 17, staff recommend that you resolve as per the report and the recommendation of the FBRD board to support the adoption of the Fraser Valley Regional District Hope Connector Sub-Regional Transit System Service Area Establishment Bylaw number 1380, 2016.
Okay, we have a motion to get on the bus here.
I move that.
Okay, Councillor Stewart,
Second.
Councillor Maylock, and Councillor Erickson and Councillor Medlock.
To you. John, can you kind of explain this to me? So if the bus goes from here to Agassiz, and if we stop at Chihuahua and we stop at, say, it's Chihuahua or Laidlaw, depending which way, or Seabird, or will they automatically have to pick up? Will they, or do we automatically pick up there and they just pay the fee, or do they pay a portion of the transit costs that we would have to pay? Is that what you were trying to say to us?
Your worship, the way it's envisioned now, because we're the only basic funding partner with BC Transit, is the bus will not stop between Agassiz and here. If, for example, Chihuahua First Nation wants to participate in the service, they would have to come on board and negotiate as either a partner or some other revenue sharing entity, and we would have to work that out. Once we got their concurrence, and a guarantee as to their portion of the revenue, as we would with anyone else, areas A, B, or First Nation Seabird, for example, then we would arrange for stopping there. And in fact, they may have to modify the FBRD bylaw, but they're certainly open to it.
So have there been any negotiations with Chihuahua and say
we-
Seabird and?
We have spoken to Chihuahua earlier, and we've spoken to other potential partners, including areas A, B, other First Nations. Again, I believe there's a little bit of, let's wait to see if they build it.
Okay.
Well, now it's being built, and I suspect very much that once that bus is in motion, they will see that and they will want to get on board. Pardon the pun.
Thank you.
Couple there, impressive. Awesome.
I have a similar line of questions. So, your report indicates that the budget implications, or is no increase in budget required to give consent for this bylaw. But at what point do we actually have to start footing the bill? And to what extent before there's a potential for partners to come on board? I've been all for this, but I think to make it really feasible and desired by the community would be to have it subsidized by several partners along the way, like it was originally envisioned 4 or 5 years ago. The cost difference between 167,000 and upwards of maximum around 35,000 is a big difference. And that changes how I might feel about it. So I just want to make sure that we're not committing to something at this point before we have an opportunity to have those conversations to see what the interest is. If it's no interest, I think we really need to think about it and have more discussion based on what it's going to cost this community to offer that service.
Your worship, I believe as we move closer to this, there will be room to have these discussions, ideally get them on board before it starts. But basically, from a regional perspective and from a district perspective and a provincial perspective, because they wouldn't come on board, we are committed to this for the short term. And again, there'll be some short-term pain. Transit never makes money. I don't know when partners will come on, but I believe they will come on and the cost will be reduced. But it is certainly from a District of Hope public perspective, one of the priorities they want established, and as directed by previous council and this council, we've been moving forward to get that done. So the first year, maybe at the full 167, and then you may see that drop, or it may drop before then, because again, once this bylaw is at the regional level is supported by us, we're one step closer, and then other communities may see this as really a serious thing that is going to develop.
Yeah, Councillor Bell.
So through you again, to John. So John, now that this is, like, we're heading down the right direction, now could we stop it? I mean, if the bus comes, and I'm just trying to picture, the bus comes from Agassiz, it comes Highway 1, could it stop at Laidlaw and pick up people, drop them off at Hope, and then head from Hope down the Agassiz Highway and pick up people at Chihuahua and Rock Face campsite and all the way down to Agassiz? Like, make that circle, and then that would help to fund it, maybe be more people using the bus instead of just coming Hope to Agassiz or Hope to Chilliwack?
The route proposed is strictly Highway 7, both ways, and we had earlier public input and discussions about a Highway 1 route or a combination, and it made sense at the current time with the demand being estimated and certainly not known that the Highway 7 route is the most economical. It still affords the possibility for stops along 7. Then if we see the support for the service grows to the point where indeed maybe we want to consider a loop through one and stop at other communities, there's time for that. But as per our previous discussions to get partners on board, they didn't want to see it and they didn't want to pay for it.
Councillor Dunn?
Thank you, through you. So was there $25,000 from Fraser Health that's gonna be applied towards this
Yes, every year.
every year?
Every year.
So our cost will be decreased by 25,000.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's very good.
So you say first year could be the full 167,000, and fares would offset some, I suppose, they're on the low side of the cost recovery, but is there a certain point in time that we say it's a go or no-go situation where we decide, is it 6 months in, is it a full year in, or we say, look, this isn't working for us without any partners? Like, what is our mechanism to stop things if we see that it's not working? I'm hopeful that it will work. I don't want to talk pessimistic, but we need to be wary of where we're spending our dollars.
Right. Your Worship, that's largely a political decision because we've had to work hard to get provincial funding in a tight scenario. Plus, we'll have to move forward to get more partners. So at the end of the day, it's not, staff could recommend, but I would recommend we don't recommend, quite frankly, because
Yeah, I don't want to
Again-
see something there. I just want, is
Yeah.
there a mechanism to cease service if we?
oh, yes, you would signal that you wish to cease the service, and then we would have to take the steps to do it, and there would definitely be a notice time, I imagine, so that the region can take the necessary steps and the province as well. Bear in mind, I mean, we're looking to establish this for some time. They're going ahead and they're getting a bus for us for this system. So ideally, it should be a goer. The community's waited for a long time.
I know the public feedback was very positive, and I hope this all relates into good things. Like I say, I'm just going into it cautiously. I still support it and am in favor of moving forward here. I just want, those questions helped ease me a little bit. Thank you.
Additional questions from council? Motion's on the table. All those in favor? Thank you. Correspondence, 8A, as council will recollect, I brought up the point about the regional library budget for next year. It's actually coming in at a pretty reasonable 2.99% increase, and the reason I call that reasonable is a lot of the resources that the regional library purchases are based in the States, and of course, given the dismal currency comparison, it's actually surprising they can still make things work with that. So, looking pretty positive for our share. I think we can probably stomach that. That is the wish of council. Thank you. Councilor Medlock?
Second.
Okay. Councilor Diamond, second. All those in favor? Contrary, motion carries. Advantage Hope quarterly reports for council's information, starting on page 45. We were fortunate to have with us a couple of representatives from Advantage Hope, Mr. Kent McKinnon, the chair, and Ms. Tammy Shields, executive director. So if anyone has any pertinent questions, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to come up with some good answers. Okay.
Just like to say, good reports and some great numbers there. The number of visitors is always impressive to see, and this is just the third quarter, so I know it'll slow down for the fourth quarter, but still, at least saw a lot of people. I think they did an excellent job over the last 3 quarters. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you both, and your team. A motion to receive, please. Okay, Councilor Dival, Councilor Erickson seconding. All those in favor? Contrary, motion carries. Hope Visitor Center and Museum Complex quarterly reports, same organization, but different focus here.
I guess that's more what I was referring to.
Yeah. Okay. So a motion to receive that as well.
So moved.
Councilor Dival moving. Councilor Medlock. All those in favor? Contrary, motion carries. Letter dated August 31st, 2016 from the FCM, Federation of Community Municipalities, regarding Canada 150 Community Leaders Network for okay. Receipt that, anything else? Receive that? There's a deadline on that? There's a deadline on that one. Page 79.
There was, I imagine
I
it'd be.
think there is a deadline here.
October 15th.
Was it?
We passed it.
This is the letters on August 31st.
August, yeah.
Can't relate that one.
Well, we never got it, so they emailed it through and they wouldn't, we will nominate somebody.
We still can.
Well,
As soon as you can, just email me.
Okay.
Can that be from the community at large or council itself?
Community alert.
Community alert.
Maybe we could get XY to maybe do a little spiel on it.
Well, I see you want them to nominate, the community alert to nominate.
Yeah.
this would be for council.
This would be for council through the FCM, so this isn't for the public, but you can nominate anyone in the public.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have some submissions to council and then we can pass it forward. I mean, we have some ideas, obviously.
We want it for the.
I'll clarify an email again tomorrow for you, your worship and council.
Yeah. Okay. Or maybe we shouldn't publicize the fact that they're bending the rules a little bit for us to add someone to the. Okay. And then item E, receive the remaining correspondence. Okay. First, seconder.
Second.
Okay, Stu or Medlock, tie game there? Yeah. Okay, all those in favor? Motion carries. No other pertinent business. Question period from public relevant to the agenda, and then we have a couple in camera items as well. So. Anyone? I guess an update of Merry Christmas. So maybe we'll have a quick 2-minute break, and then head into in camera, and then in about 10 minutes, we'll require our good friends from the church to visit with us. Okay?
Thank you.
Do we have a senator?
I'm gonna contact